We started off on Tuesday with this report called Producers Price Index Final Demand. A long way of saying wholesale inflation, the amount of inflation that shows up in production, right? And it was low. You can see here that they expected point 0.2 month over month, they got point 0.1. Year over year, they were talking 2.6. Last time they got 2.7. This time it came in at 2.2. When you start to factor out food and energy, it's at zero. When you factor out food, energy, and trade services, it's also quite low. And so people were happy with wholesale inflation. They were like, okay, finally, these tactics the Fed have been taking have been paying off. Then on Wednesday, we got consumer price index. So this is like retail inflation versus wholesale inflation. And when you take a look at that, month over month, 0.2%. First time we got a inflation number under 3% in like 15 months, 2.9%. And, the Fed's talking about this 2% target. People almost like they forget about the point 0.9 and they're like, we're at 2%. So they got excited. You factor out food and energy, which is quite volatile, and it's still getting lower. And so that made people feel a little bit more comfortable. And then, of course, our Fed has that dual mandate. And so they're thinking also about, is inflation going to be what the Fed talks about for the September meeting, or is it going to be employment? And so the last thing that came out yesterday that was quite powerful was this retail sales number. So, retail sales, if people stop spending, right, then it's really going to slow things down. The best situation would be if inflation is coming down, but people continue spending. And what did we see in July? I mean, we saw a heck ton. We saw people spending more than $7 billion than they did in June, right? So, yeah, retail sales is alive and well. They were expecting, look, in June, they had this number that was revised down to a 0.2% drop in retail sales from May. Well, and they only expected a 0.3% increase this month. They got 1%. A lot of that was people buying cars and to some extent buying gas, but still, 0.4% gain, right? That's not bad at all. So, people are happy. People are spending. Inflation's coming down. Employment looks to be stable. And so, that caused a little bit of buying this week.